Welcome back to the channel, and as you can see, I've got the tie on, we got the top hollow music playing in the background. You all know what that means. It's time for some more Pokemon Sleep news. Now, this episode...
We're going to hand things off to our other anchor, this guy, because our main anchor is unavailable to cover such small, teeny tiny details as a Halloween event. Here's everything we know about Halloween 2025 so far. The event will include double candies from Pokemon Sleep research, just like Halloween 2024 and Halloween 2023. The event will begin around the end of October. Go ahead and mark your calendars for October 27th through November 2nd, as this will include Halloween. During this event, Ghost-type Pokemon spawns will be boosted. That means if you're looking for Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar, Shuppet, Banette, Drifloon, Drifblim, Mimikyu, or Skeledirge, you're gonna have a better chance of encountering those Pokemon. Also, during this week-long event, and don't let anyone try to tell you that it's gonna be more than 1 week, because it clearly says week-long, you may even meet an Eevee wearing a Halloween hat that it stole from Pikachu, who, by the way, is not mentioned here, and that makes me really upset because I still don't have the 2-star sleep style, as well as, quote, recently debuted ghost Pokemon. More event details are forthcoming, but not before we speculate on what those recently debuted Pokemon might be. The most recently debuted ghost Pokemon in the Pokemon franchise are the Gen 9 ghost Pokemon. This includes Ceruledge, Bramblin, Brambleghast, Annihilate, Fluttermane, Gimmighoul, Goldango, Poltergeist, Sinistcha, and Pecharunt. The most recent debuted. Now let me give you a reason why each of these could be added to the game. Ceruledge, it just looks awesome, and Pokemon Sleep is the most awesome Pokemon game, so we'll just leave it at that. Bramblin and Brambleghast look like they would thematically fit with Amber Canyon, which is coming in November. Annihilate would be an easy addition to the game, and a lot of players have suspected that Annihilate might get added. Fluttermane adds a layer of complexity to Pokemon Sleep because this would mean that Select Button has to go into the past and the future to track our sleep in order to add all of these Pokemon that time travel, or I didn't play the game, I don't know how it works. A reason to add Gimmighoul and Goldango would be because it could add like a new fun mechanic where they charge us more money for items that we need. Yeah, Poltergeist and Sinistcha, who I think would be most likely to get added of all of these that I just listed. And that's because I've heard of them, and that means that they're kind of popular. Although I have heard of Annihilate, but only because of Pokemon Sleep players talking about it. And finally, the most recently debuted ghost Pokemon, Pecharunt. Now, let's not read too far into the news here, but if we go to the past and look at previous news, we are making a change to how Darkrai is recruited, and Darkrai is a mythical Pokemon, and Pecharunt is a mythical Pokemon, and they said, quote, we plan to make additional adjustments related to Pokemon with special appearance rates in future updates. Just saying. But this is actually where watching the Pokemon news pays off for you, because it would seem that recently debuted is actually a terrible translation for what was announced. For example, if we go to Twitter and look at the official Pokemon Sleep account and translate the messaging there, it says you might encounter Eevee wearing a Halloween hat, or newly appearing ghost type Pokemon. Recently debuted and newly appearing. Those are very different sentiments. Let's take this one step further. If we translate the news page from Japanese and we focus in on that little section, the initial translation I got back was newly appearing, but as I looked into other ways that that might be translated into English, I got these results. Pokemon that newly appear, Pokemon making their first appearance, Pokemon appearing for their first time this time, Pokemon that newly appear, parentheses spawn, and finally, new Pokemon. So this phrase could just as well have been translated as Pokemon making their debut, Pokemon appearing for the first time, new Pokemon arrivals, or more casually, new Pokemon joining the event. And the same exact phrase was used in Japanese last year when Mimikyu was released and when we knew who Mimikyu was. So I think by recently debuted, they actually mistranslated and they meant to say debuting. And finally, as a reward for watching this entire video, let me tell you something else about extra candy that you may have not known. Somebody on Reddit posted that somebody else had done some research that the Pokemon you put in your leader slot on the team will yield more candies for you throughout the day. So whoever you're running on your team during the day, whoever you need the most candies for should go in your leader slot. And ever since I've learned that, I can say it feels right, but I haven't scientifically tested it. But again, somebody else did, so it was accurate enough to report on the news, okay? Let's do this again sometime. Happy researching. Celoredge. This includes Ceruledge,